Welcome back to the show, folks. Hey, if you don't know me yet, my name is Mike Asherbranner, proud and humble leader of the Hounds of Business community and affectionately known as the Redneck Connector. And you are tuning in to Mike King Biz Radio, folks, on ESPN 106.1 FM. I know I say this every week, folks, but it's the truth. You know it, dadgummit. All right, special treat today. This guy, he has built from the ground up. And wow, he has built a lot of success, but he built it with heart, right? So, in a world obsessed with funnels, hacks, and closing tactics, right, today we're going to talk to Steve. He's going to remind us of a truth as old as business itself, which is that people buy from people they trust. Believe it. All right. It's not out of style. All right. And Steve built a $1 billion impact network doing something simply refreshing, serving before selling. All right. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? So, as the host of the Top 20 podcast, Doing Business with a Servant's Heart, and creator of the hit TV series, our show, Together We Serve on E360 TV, Steve's helped thousands, all right, of entrepreneurs grow by putting generosity, gratitude, and genuine connection at the center of everything he does. So, we're going to unpack this, get to know this guy, folks, take notes. And if you're on the radio listening in, you can go at any time to YouTube at Doing Business with a Servant's Heart. All right, you're going to love the content. You're going to walk away, and it's not a waste of time, to say the least. So let's get this show on the road, folks, and bring the one and only Steve Ramona up.
Looks like your business might be in a bit of a pickle. Don't you worry about a thing. You ain't alone in this. You're just a success story waiting to happen. Trust me on that. Every bump in the road is just an opportunity wearing a clever disguise. Welcome to the Hounds of Business community, where we don't just sit around twiddling our thumbs. Nope. We turn those obstacles into mighty fine stepping stones. This here's a place where high-level entrepreneurs and sharp professionals gather to grow their businesses and mindsets, kind of like how a good old gumbo needs the right ingredients to be something special. Ideas thrive here, and collaborations, well, they're as natural as sweet tea on a hot day. Success, it's a journey, and we're fixing to walk that road right beside you. Now, don't forget to follow us on LinkedIn for all the latest tips and insights. We're talking about the kind of wisdom that'll keep you ahead of the game. And while you're at it, head on over to our YouTube channel. We've got ourselves a treasure trove of videos, from expert interviews to webinars, everything you need to stay sharp in this fast-moving world of business. The Hounds of Business community? Well, we ain't just a network, we're a movement. So why not come on and be part of something bigger? Join us today and let's turn your business journey into a real Southern success story. Together, we'll achieve greatness. Just like crawfish and singing on a Friday night.
All right, folks. Why? Hey, this guy has been everywhere, and he probably does know about crawfish and singing on a Friday night. So let's bring him up and ask him. One and only Steve Ramona.
What a great way to start. Thanks for having me, Mike. This is a pleasure, and this message needs to get out to more people because we're not doing this serving before selling.
Absolutely. And hey, that Apollo Creed style entrance, man, it's well earned. It's not flattery. All right. You've done a lot of work behind the scenes. You've inspired me and others. And really looking forward to getting this out there, my friend, because you're usually on this side of the mic, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Correct.
So, yeah, you're better than me. Usually I take the mic over. I don't mean to, but it's easy to do.
You're darn good. I'm not worried about that. You'll be a great host.
Well, I appreciate you. Well, Steve, let's take it from the top, man. I don't want to rush this. I want folks to get this because the people that listen to us, the Hounds of Business, right? Sometimes we think, well, who are we? And, other people had an advantage, but that's not the case with you. So you built your career with one simple idea: serve before you sell. All right, that's when I realized I wasn't full of it, that this is somebody else like you have actually believed this. Lots of folks like us. So take it from the top. Where did that come from? And how did it change the way you do business, Steve?
Well, I started at 18 years old. My family launched a health club. And at 18, you're checking in people to work out, at the front desk, 40, 50, 60-year-olds, 70-year-olds, much older people, female and male, that were very successful. And what the crazy part of this whole thing is, I started learning from them. Instead of, hey, Mike, have a great workout. Hey, Mike, have a great day. It became, hey, Mike, how's your grandkids? Hey, Joe, how was your vacation? Well, we became friends. Now, remember, we're in a multi-million-dollar business, health club. We had thousands and thousands of members. But what I started learning was every time I'd serve them, help them, do something for them, it would come back. For example, I'd go out to eat and they go, oh, Steve, I'm going to buy you dinner. And my buddies are like, what? Oh, it's one of the members at the club. and he'd go buy me dinner or give me resources or give me tips. And one quick story, at 19 years old, a gentleman used to call me kid. He was probably in his 50s, a financial advisor, and he threw a book at me one day and said, "Hey, Steve, why don't you read this book? It's called The Wealthy Barber. It's still around today. It's very powerful." And he said, next Tuesday, I'm coming back to work out. You better tell me exactly what you learned from that. And he was serious. Come back Tuesday and said, the book was simple. It says, take 10% of my income. By the way, this is 1970, 1980. I was making $3 an hour. So I wasn't making a lot of money. But he said, Steve, take your 10%, put it in a bank account, don't touch it. Well, let's fast track to 10 years later. At 28, I opened that account. It had $68,000 in it. I was no way. I won the lottery in this is probably 1985, 88, something like that. So I called Tony and I said, Tony, man, I don't have to tell you that advice you gave me 10 years ago. Heck, I got 68,000 there. Can I pay you for that? Because that was your job.
Right.
Send you $1,000. He goes, absolutely not. He said, here's why. Because you took my advice, which a lot of people didn't, and lost millions of dollars because I was giving really good advice. Somebody came into my universe as a client because I took care of you. I served you. I went, holy mackerel. That's serving things works. I mean, this guy was a multimillionaire. He was very wealthy. And he attributed to doing good things for good people for free. And he really liked me and he took care of me. And from then, man, things took off.
Oh, wow. Okay. So where do I begin with this? All right. So first of all, what was the book called? The
Wealthy Barber.
First of all, I need to go. I've got a haircut. If I took this hat off, I look like Marge Simpson right now, man. I forgot I have hair. I still do think I'm bald. But on a serious note, so Steve, was that some kind of advanced secret marketing tactic and psychological sales trick you pulled there? Or was that just the God's honest truth? That was just who you were when you decided to build those level of relationships?
Well, I used that serving before selling, getting to know Tony. Let's go back. If I was just not, hey, have a great day, not asking people what they're about and asking that question, hey, how's your kids doing? How's your vacation? I started learning about building a relationship. I think it was innate in me. And shout out to my cousin, Jeff Ramona. He was the president. He taught me that. Customer service. And here's a trick. So people would come in and work out, and I wouldn't remember all these names. Thousands of people came in.
Right.
But I would look at the screen, especially if somebody didn't come in for months. I'd go, hey, Mike, have a great workout. Good to see you again. I just look at the screen. Some people call it cheating, but what's more important is building that relationship. You know what that person's thinking? Steve remembered me. They could care less whether I looked on the computer. I took the action to make them be seen.
Because that's who you are. And that's what I want to drive home. In the Hounds of Business, all the folks that listening in, there's a lot of noise out there that says you really can't build a long, sustainable business, or at least alludes to that, by being people-centered, heart-centered, by leading with your values in the business world. And yeah, as we prove day in, day out, that's not the case. It's not the only way. We're not saying if you're not like this and you don't resonate with this, you shouldn't stop doing what you're doing. We're not judging, right, Steve? We're just saying don't say, oh, I can't do it because I want to build a relationship. You can. You just have to figure it out, like you did, right? You have to test things. You have to go out there and find your tribe, so to speak. And that's why we're here, because somebody introduced us and said, you two are birds of a feather. It doesn't make it wrong or right. It just means that people out there who want to lead with heart first, you absolutely can. And that's why I'm honored to have you here. And thank you for sharing that.
You're very welcome.
Well, let me see if I got this wrong. Correct me if I did. You created more than $1 billion in project impact through relationships. Right?
I'm doing it right now. I've got 10, 15 projects, and some are pretty big. I'm building 2 cities, smart cities. But here's the power of that. It came from my podcast, Building Relationships. I knew nothing about renewable energy and building cities a year ago. But as I met people through my podcast, meeting through other referrals and just getting to know, and so here's a tip, audience. I got a bunch of them, but one of them is when you jump on a call with anybody, especially if you don't know them or haven't seen them in a while, your first thought should be, how can I uplift them today? What could I do to bring value to them? It could be as little as this little tip on their CRM that they could do, or it could be, hey, I can introduce you to this great person that's got $100 million business that could help you. It doesn't matter the impact, just make an impact because you're making them be seen and you're uplifting them. People never forget when they're uplifting. I use this little analogy, and people listening, I love this. You're 7 years old, and we're coming up to Christmas, so this is perfect. It's Christmas time, Christmas morning. You're up earlier than you ever are as a 7-year-old. You're up at 6, 7 o'clock because you know you get to open that one gift. And you open that gift, and it's what you've always wanted all year. What do you feel? What's the emotion? That's what I feel every time I get to bring value and uplift and serve people. But here's the cool thing. That little child, what has he done? He's gone to school and built an ornament for his mom. He's reciprocated it. Not at the same value, and we got to take value out of it. Just bring value, whatever it looks like. But you got to be curious, not judgmental. I'm a big Ted Lasso fan. It's actually up on my wall. It's blurred, but I have it here now. Every morning I walk in my office and leave. Be curious, not judgmental. That will grow your business so fast because people are going to want to work with you. People are going to want to be your client. People are going to want to refer you. I get 3 to 5 referrals daily. I can look at my email now. I've got a referral. And I'm saying that from ego of I empower greater outcomes, not the ego of, hey, I'm the best. Because people know when they introduce me, I can help them. Whatever way that looks like, don't scoreboard it. That's for sports. I'm a big sports fan. That's why I like using it. Don't scoreboard it. You give somebody 2 referrals, don't expect 2 referrals back. Somebody gives you a $10,000 client, don't expect universe, or in my case, God, will reward you. We just don't know the how, when, or where.
All right, well said. All right, Hounds, you heard it from someone other than me, way more eloquent than my redneck isms. And then, but you're true. That's how we did this. I didn't come at you wanting stuff. I came and said, hey, there's a guy that, I resonate with. And I started introducing you to the rock stars I was blessed to work with. And that was it. I didn't expect anything. And then you started, so it's like a game of ping pong, right? Yeah. So if you hit the ball and it bounces off somebody's chest, as we were talking about backstage, don't judge, don't think you're bad. You never know what people are going through and what stage they're at. But as you and I see all the time, I had somebody we were talking about, same thing, right? 2 years later, comes back with a stellar client. And I'm like, I didn't think she even liked me. But it didn't matter. It was her. And our response is enough. And I want people to know that. And by the way, Ted Lasso, it was last year, Bob Berg said, you remind me of Ted Lasso. And I didn't know what he's talking about. And I was too cheap to buy the Apple subscription because I have an Android. So now I'm going to have to revisit that, because if you like him, now I got to know.
Oh, it's a great show.
Well, real quick, because I want to jump into the deep. Everybody knows your heart. They know you've built success. I want to get in there to the how-tos and the experience and how they can learn more and be a part of you. But before I do, I got to give a shout out to the one and only Mike King, Mike King Biz Radio, ESPN. Thank you for this opportunity to push people up, right? We're going international together, my friends, so we could do more together. Thank you for all you do to push people up and get them out there. Steve, you already know this. People have a passion and a desire to make an impact, man, now more than ever. But they won't. They won't do it because they're alone. They don't have the resources, people, and support. So it's an absolute honor to partner up together and help more people realize that. Because when people like us have time, money, and freedom, we can do a lot of stuff, a lot of good when we get to that point. So that's the point of the Hounds, folks. Check us out on LinkedIn, Redneck One, Mike Asherbrenner. Also on YouTube at Hounds of Business. Or you can send us an old school carrier pigeon. I still take those, weather pending. So if you're just tuning in, folks, go to Doing Business with a Servant's Heart on YouTube. Look up Steve Ramona, Ramona. We are talking about the real of how to serve, all right? And very much how much of an impact that makes. And in the business world, big impact, big profits. Nothing wrong with it. Took me a while to realize that. So let's jump into a little bit. You often say generosity is good in business, right? Now we get it, right? What's the mindset shift that leaders need to make to actually live that out, assuming they want to? Maybe it's new to them.
Yeah, I mentor a lot of business owners and entrepreneurs, and fear is out there. It just is. People are, and people come to me and they go, Steve, I got to pay my rent. I've got power bill. I got all these bills I got to pay. I got to make money. And I tell them, an audience, think about this. We all have that. Bill Gates has bills to pay. Warren Buffett, they all got expenses. Of course, they can pay them. Don't have that be your mindset. Your mindset should be always, how can I serve? Here's a great phrase: transformational, not transactional. Transform people. And April, so well, curiosity is the key. Because when you're curious, you get to learn about people. And I have a principle I developed. It's called the ASLA principle. And I love saying it because people look at me like, ASLA, okay. It's simply this: ask, be curious, shut up, listen, ask and be curious again. An example would be, I'm talking to Joe Smith. Go, Joe, hey, what are you doing for a living? Oh, I'm a CPA. I shut up. That was a quick one. What are your challenges as a CPA? What do you really need to scale your business? He'll go on for a couple minutes. I need this and this and this. And I'll go again, ASLA, ask again. So what I heard you say, John, wherever I said, I forgot the name already, but then I can help. Because as I'm curious and asking questions and listening, I can bring value. I can't bring value. When I first met you, Mike, the first 5 minutes we connected, but I couldn't bring you value yet until I learned about you. And you couldn't bring value to me until you learned about me. That should be your first and foremost thought process when you meet people. And here's the power of all of this: is the curious brings love. I've never said this before, but it brings empathy.
Wow.
Because you care about somebody. Now, it's not romantic love. There's agape love, and I forget the multiple loves out there, those Greek loves, but we don't have enough empathy in business. Man, I love what you're doing. I've told you that, Mike. There's no problem with guys saying that, because you know what it does? It opens the door of opportunity. That's all we're looking for.
Look, it wouldn't be me if I didn't do my mom impression on mute, right, folks? I mean, if there was ever an episode of anything I did where the mic wasn't muted at least for 10 seconds, it wouldn't be me. But on that note, Steve, I really genuinely, and the comments are affirming it here. I'll be honest, folks. I was so concerned about how I came off, how good I was on a sales call or seeking opportunity, that it never even dawned on me, and not even popular out there in a lot of these sales and marketing circles, to do exactly what you said, Steve, which is seek to listen. Like, for example, folks, take this one away. And I learned this by watching people like Steve. I said, instead of when somebody, tell me about yourself. Well, I mean, come on. Should I start at childhood? The simple question is, what would you like to know? Hone in on it, because I had somebody yesterday, Steve, and I want you to elaborate if you don't mind. They said, tell me about you and the hounds. And I stopped, because I said, probably anything I'm going to pick randomly is useless to them. Like you said, it won't generate curiosity nor value. So why would I say it? And I stopped, said, well, if you don't mind, allow me to ask you a few questions so I can speak meaningfully, answer that meaningfully. And it happened. And there was no script, no outcome, no manipulation. I seriously wanted to see if we were a good fit together, how we correspond, how the energy's picked up. What do you think about that? Because my philosophy is, before we're business people, we're people. And I want to be the same dude everywhere. What do you think? You're the authority.
That's $1 million tip you just gave right there. And I love that, come up with questions. What are your challenges? Who do you like to work with? Who you've been successful with as a client? Very specific questions. You can dive deep. The deeper you dive, people love it. People come in, wow, are they going to really like that? Everybody, including me and you, Mike, love to talk about themselves. Oh. And people listening on the comments, give me a thumbs up. We all do, especially in the right environment. You just said you were muted. I said, okay, you were muted at one time. And it's the Maya Angelou quote. You probably all know it. That's something that sticks to me about, they want to know you. People could care less about Steve Ramona, but we can care what Steve Ramona can do for them.
Absolutely. It doesn't make it wrong, does it, Steve? It makes it human. But
it's what I want to be. I want to be that person that can help them. Maybe they can have drink, but have a beer or go have dinner. And, those are different kinds of people. But when it's somebody that's strange, that's the wrong word, stranger, somebody you've never met before, you've got a referral, you got to dive deep into them if you want to help them.
Absolutely.
I agree with you, April.
Well, I appreciate that because, again, this is people. What's in here is what stops us, right? Encourage before confidence. Steve, did you just come out and magically just have success and everybody loved you and your show just exploded? Or did you grind and go through stuff that people couldn't even imagine behind the scenes? You're the overnight success that took 30 years, right?
I grind. And I tell you, it's only been 3 years, but I was that guy you didn't want to talk to. I would start pitching right away. And one guy, a lot of people, Donnie Bovin, shout out to him. He was on my podcast. He stopped me. He goes, dude, I don't think he said dude. I'm paraphrasing. But he said, hey, stop pitching me because you don't know me. Do you even know I need what you have? And I stopped. I was pissed at first, be completely honest. And he was kind about it. He kind of said, here's a couple things I'll give you. And once I had that call and talked to a few other people, I rarely talk about what I do. I talk about how I can help them.
And that's not a cute catchphrase. That it's intentional, right? You hone your craft, you do all the things like your brand, your clarity, your messaging. It's not a scapegoat for that. But it's almost like most people build a car and they forgot the engine, Steve. Like the engine, right? The most important component, arguably, of the car is the engine. It ain't going nowhere unless somebody's pushing it.
Nope.
And the engine to you and folks like us is the people aspect, right? And honestly, I'm totally off script. Who cares about script? Here's my mindset, and everything changed. And I don't know if it's different for you, but I said, you know what? There's 8 billion people with a B in this planet. Right. And there's a billion active on LinkedIn. The day I truly believe that I ain't going to run out of people, especially me, that's my superpower, right? Everything changed because no longer was I chasing people around like a tumbleweed. I was staying as a oak tree, right? I wasn't concerned about their yes or their no or how they perceived it. I was just going on like a big sorting machine, right? Is this person aligned right now? Yes, great. If not, maybe later, right? And that was the most freeing concept for me. What about you? When was your aha moment where you're like, swimming downstream, I got it now?
Next goes in my head. If they're not a fit, they're not, But see, the aha moment too was when I served people, they're never going to, they were never going to be my client. They're never going to pay me. But the universe does. And I'll tell you a quick story how this works. I love pitch sloppy, by the way, being that. That's great. So I was at a chiropractor office, and my chiropractor knows I've been mentoring people. I helped him with his business. And this guy stands up and goes, hey, could you help my son? He just lost his job, and he's struggling. He wants to start a business, but he doesn't know what to do. I said, absolutely. So he gives my phone number. A week later, he calls me. I remember it was a Monday night. And after 35 minutes, he's like, oh, my God, I had no hope. I have hope now. And that's great. And I love that because I just gave him basic stuff that he could do and some thoughts. But here's the cool thing. The next morning I woke up, there was $500 in my PayPal.
No way.
You know where it came from? No. And I had to think about it. I eventually figured it out was from a coaching program I referred to somebody else. And the guy paid me $500 for the client.
Wow.
Doesn't happen all the time, but it does happen. We just don't know when, how, or where. Faith and hope is important as an entrepreneur. We're in the people asset business. What does an asset do? You watch it, a stock market, that asset's growing. Or it goes down and loses money. How do you make people an asset? You meet as many people as you can. I suggest 10 a week. Meet 10 new people or people you haven't talked to in months. And 2, serving them. They become your asset. They become your ambassador, or whatever word you want to use. And guess what? Now you get all these opportunities, because that's all we're asking for, like I said earlier, to grow and scale our business.
Wow. I told you, as soon as we get traction and excited, we gotta come to an end. Nobody wants that. All right, folks. Well, I'm going to hit him with this one. So I want y'all to take this away. We need more heart-centered, high-level professionals out there. That's how we're going to help the world, even in a small way. But I'm all about it. I have a little bit of time left, and I want to make the most of it. So what you said right there, pure gold. Somebody ought to crochet that on a pillow. Human capital, relationship currency, never depreciates, folks. Always goes up. It never goes out of style, and don't be fooled. All right, that's all I got to say. I tell you what, because, and by the way, any maturity I'm showing at this level, much of that can be attributed to April Wyatt in the comments here, Living with Intention. She is phenomenal, practice what she preaches, and she helped me mature, enough said, Steve. All right, so thank you, my friend. She is loving this. I absolutely know she is, without the comments. So let's wrap it up with this, maybe one or two. Steve, if somebody watching wants to start leading with service tomorrow, or they want to amp it up, they're like me for a long time. They're just kind of playing, but now they're like, nah, let's quit playing. Let's go all in. What's step one in your opinion? Where can they start? What's a baby step?
Great question, man. You're a great host.
I appreciate it.
Audience and people listening to this recording, here's what you can do. Every person that you run into in a store, a restaurant, a grocery store, wherever it may be, look at their name tag and say their name twice. I just did it a couple days ago at the grocery store. Walked up, didn't know the gentleman at all, young guy, and said, "Hey, Tony, how you doing today?" "I'm doing well." And he kind of stepped back a little bit. He finished bagging my groceries. He said, "Tony, thanks for bagging my groceries. Have a great day." You do that, the power of the universe changes. Because, again, you made somebody might have a bad day, something happened in their life, something happened with a fellow employee, something happened with their boss that we'll never know about. But when you say somebody's name, it changes it, because I've seen it happen. And I'll tell you a story how this worked. So I was at a grocery store about 3 years ago and left work early at 2:00. I never do that, but I always tell people, when you're having a good day and things are happening, which will happen to you, go serve. Go to the soup kitchen. Go do this. So I'm at the grocery store thinking that same thought. And I had this calling. I said to the clerk, I said, "I want to buy this lady's groceries." He looked at me, and I'm California. He's like a surfer dude. He goes, dude, nobody, what are you talking about? Nobody does that. I said, "It's 20-30 here. Just take it." I had to coerce him. I coerced him, but he finally did it. So I paid my groceries, and I found her name is Debbie, and she's holding the baby. And we're walking out, and she's thanking me, and she starts tearing up. And I got nervous because I said, "Debbie, I am so sorry. I just had a call, and I want to do this. It's kind of what I do, and I teach this." She goes, "Oh, no. I am tears of joy because, Steve, my husband lost his job last week. We weren't sure how we're going to pay for these groceries." I'm getting good. I didn't know what was happening because I didn't ask her, "Hey, you struggling today? Can I serve you?" I just had that uplifting mentality, and look what happened. But here's the powerful thing about this, Mike. What's she going to do when she goes home? Going to tell her husband, "This guy Steve bought our groceries. Oh my God, I can't believe it." What did I do? I took that servant mentality and put it on two other people. That most of the time they're going to pay it forward. That's the other power. Spread it. Thank you. That's where
like a positive code virus. Yeah, powerful.
Exactly. And we could change the world doing that.
Wow, I don't even want to speak and mess up the ending of that one, man. Because here's the key, folks. Goes without saying, but we're going to say it anyway. This is not a tactic. This is, if you resonate with this, lean into it. If you're a person that values, other folks and paying it for, it's not hokey. In fact, that's probably half of your foundation of building that business, that nonprofit, that book, whatever contribution you want to make out there, dadgummit. So thank you, Steve. Listen, you hit the nail on the head. You never know how big of an impact even the smallest thing you do has on someone. Don't underestimate that. You may never know, but it's happening anyway. From that story, that's my conclusion. And number two, you never know who's admiring you from afar. So the next time you put out post on LinkedIn or whatever else, and you're like, wow, nobody's liking it. You know what? They do like it. They're just not going to click on it because every time they click like, somebody pitch slap them with a P and spams them. So, hey, go out there. People will take notice. They will. And the right people will take notice. So, Steve, thank you for this. Folks, go connect with him. YouTube, Doing Business with a Servant's Heart. That's the name of his highly ranked, amazing podcast. Go out there, support, share it with others. You won't be sorry. You want to break the ice? Share this with them. All right, that they're going to get value. Thank you, Steve. You're welcome. Real quick, the first 3 people that reach out to me,
I will send them a book of one of my favorite authors. So first 3 people, reach out to me at Steve R 1961 at gmail.com. Mention Mike's show or Hounds of Business. I will send you one of the most success books I've read this year. It's made me $1 million. And I'll send you that book for free.
Okay. Well, I'll take the first one. I'm going
to send 3 more. I'll send you one as well.
Right. Well, brother, I appreciate you. Folks, go out there. Birds of a feather flock together. Go out there, support, comment, mix with the people like this, and your life will change. You'll learn what you don't know yet, and you'll be motivated to do more. Thank you, Steve, man. Appreciate your partnership.
Thank you.
Hey, thank you all in the comments. We'll tune in next week. Oh, man, we got amazing lineup, all-star elites, heart-centered and successful. They go together, folks. Don't be fooled. So we'll talk next week, folks. Have a good one. Princess Wave time. They can't see it on the radio. Thank y'all for stopping by. Be sure to follow, share, and like, and send me a message if you had fun today. Y'all come back now.